Hi there, welcome back to my channel. There's still a person behind it. I am honestly so glad to be back here on YouTube. To be quite honest, I did take an unintentional break, and just because I felt in this whole period that I've been away, I just wasn't in a position to show up on this platform. I think just on any platform really, because I was going through things that I did not foresee would really, I think, take a toll on me like that, especially mentally. And I feel, or rather, like I'm sure, and I know, like for certain, sometimes it is really hard to show up for things for yourself when you're not doing so well mentally. So it was a much needed break. I know people when they come back on YouTube, they're usually like, oh, where have I been, kind of thing. I don't think this will be like that. Only because I just don't think I'm going to be sharing like specific details or even going to like in depth. But maybe the most I can do is just give an idea, and I just want to use an example. So yeah, I just went through something that really was hard to go through. And I remember like initially going through it as like, oh, this is something I might discuss and share here on my platform. And I was just thinking, oh, I'll even share it like once I'm out of the woods or whatever you want to call it. And I just remember like at some point, yes, I had started recording, and in that moment, it just felt like I was letting out my frustration about the situation, about whatever I felt like I couldn't do in the moment. But then it came off in a way that did not really, settle well with me, because it just came off as, like I'm hating this situation, whatever. And I just held myself back because at some point I just wasn't sure like whether there was a line between me trying to validate myself versus also speaking in a way that maybe would be speaking down to someone who is in that experience, or perhaps maybe that's what they've known or that's their reality. And I mean, I think it's something I want to explore more, like how do you move in life, because I feel like, yeah, you cannot take into consideration like everyone's feelings or everyone's experience and situation, but I feel like there's a way to relay something that could, as as much as it validates you and your experience and your feelings, it still also is mindful of someone else's reality. And I think that was me seeing that point, because I think I was like very fresh, and like everything I was just experiencing it at such a raw level at the time. So I don't know if in future it's something I might want to discuss and perhaps even talk about it. A friend of mine had expressed wanting to share, because she was also experienced something similar, though hers was even for a much longer period. So yeah, maybe it's a future conversation. I feel the need to give an example to see if it might even make more sense, because I'm just like, at this point, what is she even saying? But basically, let me use this example, and let me use, like, let's say it's even a money conversation, which sometimes could be very emotive and sensitive. um and it can stem from, let's say, when someone is in hard financial times. Maybe for person A, that could look like not being able to maybe use a cab to move around as often, and maybe having to use a matatu. And then let's say this person speaks about using a matatu, like, oh my god, this is like the worst thing ever, like I hate it, stuff like that. And I feel like, I mean, it's valid. We know those experiences people face, and it could just be not your preference at all, and it's whatever, okay. But I don't know, is there a way you can express that in a way that perhaps does not come off as also just looking down at maybe people who that has been their reality maybe their whole lives, or maybe for someone else that could even be a relief, because perhaps they maybe have to walk like a long distance and stuff like that. So I think it's just trying to figure out what that is, trying to see if there's a line, to draw between validating your own experience, but also not in a way that is harmful of someone else's experience, and just not portraying a narrative that, I guess puts you better off than someone else, especially maybe someone who can't even change that situation. So yeah, that has been the struggle, and I don't know if this makes sense. Maybe you could even comment and share like what you think about it. Yeah, because it was something I think I'm still struggling, but I am willing to do a video and explore that a bit. So yeah, I'm planning to do a couple of sit down videos. I literally have a bunch of topics. That it's just shooting, honestly. Like, I hope to be more consistent from July. It's just Nikwe very intentional. I set out time and do it because literally I have the topics written down. Because usually what I do is I identify maybe these are topics I want to discuss, and sometimes I do a bit of research. I read a bit on what professionals are saying, what people maybe who've had experience with the topic are saying, what my thoughts are, so that I feel like when I come and share about it, it's just kind of a holistic package perspective. Like, I maybe have considered, and even challenged maybe my own thoughts and opinions about something. So that's in the works. But yeah, I think after this video, maybe the next one might be a vlog, because now I'm so happy. Like, honestly, did I mention I did my hair? I just feel like life is back to normal. Like, oh my god, like, I don't know, it just feels like I'm back to being myself. So I want to do like more things that are me, like, just the meeting my friends, just visiting places, restaurants, whatever. Like, those are like things I want to get back to like as soon as yesterday. And hopefully with this semblance of normalcy that I feel like I'm regaining, like, I just guess in a bit maybe Nikwata like back to where I was before, and even maybe even move beyond that. I mean, like, after some time. Yeah, so this was just like a short video to say I'm back, I guess. I don't know. But I've been doing YouTube shorts, by the way. If you haven't been watching, you can just check on my profile and you'll see those videos. But yeah, other than that, please subscribe if you're watching this and you haven't. Tell your people your girl is back on YouTube, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.